Step right up, hurry, hurry, before the show begins. My friends, stand in line, get your tickets. I hope you will attend. It'll only cost you 50 cents to see what life has done to those like you and me. See the man with the broken heart, you'll see that he is sad. He hurts so bad, so bad, so bad. See the girl who has lost the only love she ever had. There's got to be no sadder show to see. No doubt about it, satisfaction's guaranteed. So let the sideshow begin. Hurry, hurry, step right on in. Can't afford to pass it by. Guaranteed to make you cry. Let the sideshow begin. Hurry, hurry, step right on in. Can't afford to pass it by. Guaranteed to make you cry. See the man who's been crying for a million years. So many tears, so many tears. See the girl who's collected broken hearts for souvenirs. It's more exciting than a one-man band. The saddest little show in all the land. So let the sideshow begin. Hurry, hurry, can't afford to pass it by. Guaranteed to make you cry. Let the sideshow begin. Hurry, hurry, step right on in. Can't afford to pass it by. Guaranteed to make you cry. So let the sideshow begin. Hurry, step right on in. Can't afford to pass it by. Guaranteed to make you cry. Let the sideshow begin. Step right on in. Step right on in.
Hello everyone and welcome to session 3 of the Global Black Feminist Reading Circle. My name is Randie Henderson and I am one of the Black Feminist Reading Circle members of this online group. This session runs from January 20th until June 2nd and includes 2 week-long breaks. Our democratically selected reading material is Harriet A. Washington's book, Medical Apartheid, The Dark History of Medical Experimentation on Black Americans from Colonial Times to the Present. Our book group meets each Tuesday evening from 6:30 to 8 on the Google Plus Hangouts on Air platform. You may find the Global Black Feminist Reader Circle on Google Plus, YouTube, and Facebook, and always feel free to join us in reading our story together. Hello everyone, tonight I am moderating Chapter 3. I am Randie and I'm watching from Atlanta, Georgia, and I hope my lights and everything stay on for everybody. We should be okay though. And I guess we can start with Michelle.
Hello, everybody. My name is Michelle Odom. I am one of the co-hosts of the Global Black Feminist Reading Circle. Welcome to Session 3, Meeting 4. We're reading Harriet A. Washington's Medical Apartheid, and it's been a very enlightening book. There's still plenty of time to join in if you would like to. I am watching tonight from Brooklyn, New York. Georgette?
Hello, everyone. My name is Georgette Moses. I'm watching from Columbia, South Carolina. I'm glad to see everybody made it despite weather and other circumstances. Looking forward to tonight.
I'm Joel JJ from Charleston. Glad to be here. I don't have much to say because I don't count much. I'm a man.
When you get off it.
Joel, you matter. Hi, my name is Venita Walker. I'm joining you from Connecticut. Welcome. Happy to see everyone here.
Hi, I'm Kim, and I'm also in Brooklyn, and I'm happy to be here. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Y'all know this week is my week, and so after I do the summary, I put people's names by the passages to make it flow a little more easily, because I know that we've been having technical difficulties and we've been going in and out. So like Georgette does the first question, reads the first passage and the first question, and then anybody who wants to give an answer to that question too, and then Michelle reads the second one, and then she also answers the second question, so that we're not all trying to see who's going to answer it first. The person who reads it basically is first. Chapter 3, Circus Africanus, takes us on a journey of black bodies put on display, violated, mocked, and other egregious crimes, all in the name of profit. So also this chapter is Circus Africanus, the popular display of black bodies. So in this chapter, Harriet Washington discusses the horrific life of widower Ota Benga, put on display at the New York Zoological Gardens, Henry Moss, a black man who sought to profit off his skin's color change, but was acquired by Dr. Charles Caldwell and never did a show of his own again. Harriet Washington also discussed Saartjie Baartman, how she was paraded around multiple countries, raped, and only given a portion, if any, of the money her captors made off her body. And lastly, in this chapter, we learned of Joice Heth, said to be 161 years old, the anonymous wild men, Calvin Bird, Zip, Blind Tom, Thomas Bethune, and the performances of P.T. Barnum, who began his career by performing in blackface, but capitalized on his career by the exploitation of black people with vitiligo. This chapter was most troubling, but highlighted the fact that white people profited off of black bodies even without scientific reasons. This chapter shows us all how deep, dangerous, and peculiar white fetishes are, but it also highlights names we are not taught about and helps us better understand the iatrophobia Harriet Africans of the diaspora and African Americans face when they have the option to seek professional medical help.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and read point 2. This is the excerpt. There were 40,000 visitors to the park on Sunday. Nearly every man, woman, and child of this crowd made for the monkey house to see the star attraction in the park, the wild man from Africa. They chased him about the grounds all day, howling, jeering, and yelling. Some of them poked him in the ribs, others tripped him up, all laughed at him. Finally, Benga retaliated by attacking visitors with a knife and a bow and arrows, and the zoo ejected him. Black New Yorkers organized a collection which was insufficient to return him home as he wished, but provided enough to cap his filed teeth and send him to the Virginia Theological Seminary and College, where he proved himself an able student. Benga then found work in a Lynchburg, Virginia tobacco factory where he fit in well. But he spoke often and tearfully of wishing to return home to the Congo, and when he realized he could never save enough for passage, his depression became profound. In 1916, Benga committed suicide with that ubiquitous icon of Western technological achievement, a handgun. Question. Benga's death is a sad one, but how did you feel reading that he used his own agency to end his life? Do you feel that it was access to the handgun that prompted him to kill himself? Why not sooner when he was on display? Any other thoughts about this chapter? Well, why not sooner when he was on display? I think, what's the expression? Into each life some rain will fall. I think we have a capacity. We have a capacity to take a lot, and to take a lot more than we even imagine we can take. I, for example, certainly never believed that I could cope with homelessness. I thought for sure it would kill me. I thought the depression would kill me. But it didn't. And so, so I think we learn that we're a lot stronger than we imagine we are. But I still think that there is a limit. So I think when he was in the cage, he was moving up the slope, up the curve, toward the height of his strength, the height of his capacity. And that's why he didn't kill himself during that period. But I think by the time he realized there was no way that he was ever going to save enough money to go back home, then he was gripped with hopelessness. And hopelessness is a killer, Even, when I was homeless, I always believed there was going to be an end to this part of my story. I didn't know how it was going to happen. I didn't know when it was going to happen, but I believed that it would happen. I think it's a very different kind of thing when you believe there's no end to your misery, and that once you're gripped with that level of hopelessness, suicide becomes a very attractive option. How did you feel reading that he used his own agency to end his life? Well, that part resonated with me. It really did, because when I say all the time, I don't know how people survived the things that they survived. I also, I don't know. I'm one of those people one of those rare people, I think, that actually does see suicide as agency. I think most people see it as giving up, quitting, but for me, it's about having some boundaries for your life. I mean, I think we live in a world where we are constantly tested to see how low you will go. You know, will you shimmy down a pole because you want to survive? Will you prostitute yourself, your body, because you want to? How much will you do because you want to survive? And there is no bottom line. I think that we as individuals have to set the bottom line. And that suicide is a way of saying, I've hit my limit. I'm not going to do X, Y, or Z. I'm not going to be a slave. You know, I'm not going to be a zoo animal for your pleasure. I'm not going to be your whore. You know, and I think if we can't ever say that, then we are subject to be whatever it is the world wants us to be. And from what I can see, that ain't much. So I understood why he finally decided to take his life. Do I think it was because of access to the handgun? Not really, because there are so many different ways to kill yourself if that's what you want to do. It's not easy, but but I think I don't think it was the gun. So that's me. I'm done.
Anybody else?
Well, I just want to interject that while he was still at the zoo, there were Africans. They had, more Africans there from different tribes. They had American Indians, and so he was probably able to relate to them and try to keep a little bit of hope, that I'm going through this stuff, and
I'm not alone.
Right, and then he goes to the school, and then he goes to the tobacco factory. And by that time, just as you said, things have not turned out the way they have. It hasn't rewarded him. Circumstances have not rewarded him for all the hope that he tried to hold on to returning to the life that he knew and loved. So I think it said, and I don't remember if this was in the book or in the documentary I watched, when he went to kill himself, he removed the caps from his teeth. And in that way, he's returning himself to his culture, who he was. This westernized life, it didn't work out, so he's taking control of his life, and he's going to end it this way. He's going to go out in control of his life, even though he's in. So I think that, and just as you said, he could have used anything, but. So I'm not mad at him. He decided, I'm going to be a man, and I'm going out like a man, the man I was back in the Congo. So.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say this, but I can never stop myself saying what I'm saying. We celebrate the ability of Black people to survive the harshest of circumstances above all else, because we value survival, and survival is a good thing. And my mother certainly drilled into me, self-preservation is the first law of nature. But to me, we can't ever pull ourselves out of the pit that we're in collectively until we start to set some boundaries. You know, we look at people like Martin King and Malcolm X and people that have truly given their lives for the struggle, and we think that that's exceptional behavior, that only special people have that kind of commitment. And I mean, I think it's true, only special people have that kind of commitment. But I think until that kind of commitment becomes commonplace, I think what we're doing is, see, you can't respect anybody that doesn't have a bottom line. And I think that Black people are so disrespected in the world because we show so much fear. We value survival above all else. We value survival above self-respect. And I just think as long as people know that you don't have a bottom line, they will keep pushing you to the bottom.
Yeah.
Is that you, Venita?
Yes, I agree. I agree. I believe before he committed suicide, when he took the caps off his fanged teeth, that he was returning to his authentic self. But then again, in everyday life, a lot of us become depressed or dismayed when we have to go against our authentic self. So I can understand exactly how he felt. And we all have a bottom, and we all have a limit. And I believe that what the tool he used to kill himself had nothing to do with anything. It just was there, and he had his limits, and he made a decision. And it's a huge one. You know, he'd rather die with his authentic self than to live his life like that. So I commend him, actually. I really commend him, because it takes a lot of strength to make that decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. That takes a lot of strength in itself, to decide that you are no longer going to let someone treat you a certain way, or you're no longer going to be humiliated and degraded. If it were me, I would probably make the same decision, to be honest with you. You know, because I believe in my authentic self. And I believe that I'd rather die with dignity than to have someone just abuse me. And especially in his case, you never know when this abuse is going to end. There is no end in sight.
Yeah.
And he knows this. So, oh, wow. I'm done.
I think for me, I think the thing that stands out the most is I'm starting to hear all the efforts by African Americans to help each other. So even last week there was another doctor who really kind of went out of his way to write articles and say, you know, this is wrong. So I think that when we drum the story in about our own heroes, and not just the leaders that we all know, but these people who just, you know, like this African American community that raised money for Benga, I'm just so proud. It just touches me to just kind of say, those are the stories that our children need to hear a lot more of, that you sacrifice for each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for me.
Definitely.
Well, thank y'all. Anybody else have anything to say before Kim takes the next question?
The sideshow begin. Hurry, hurry, step right on in. Can't afford to pass it by.